What's up, guys? Welcome to the Lack of Thought podcast. I'm your host, JD.
Hey, I'm RJ.
Oh, that was lackluster.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who wants to take it away? It's been a while, everybody. I'm Mike. I'm in the background here. You can't see me because,
Because he's ugly.
yeah, that's what it is. I'm afraid that you guys will see me. So, what's going on? This is the Lack of Thought podcast. Hang on a second. Let me fade in our cool little. Nope, wrong one. My
That's me
bad.
right there. Mm-hmm.
That's the wrong one. That's the right one. Lack of Thought podcast brought to you by Bandhouse Production Studios. This is not a call-in show, but it is a chat-driven show. If you're in the chat, say hello. We want to know who's here, who's not.
Shut Metal's here.
Shut Metal's here. So, all right, guys. How's everybody? Oh shit, wrong one. My bad. So how's everybody doing? Justin?
I'm doing pretty good. It's nice weather outside. Shit ton of bees.
RJ, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
This is your
Just
first
been
show.
working. It is, finally.
Hey, you've never done a podcast before, have you?
No.
Are you scared?
Well, I'm sweating bullets here. It's kind of warm.
It is warm in there.
Yeah.
JD's probably got the heater on.
Yeah, he's cold.
Actually, no. Not
Oh.
today.
All right.
Thank God. Oh.
All right, JD, you want to take it away? I'm still kind of waiting on people to filter in. If anybody does, it's not looking great right now, but
Well, get the fuck
Oh,
in
the
here,
The
people.
cameras are looking great. What are these Panasonics that we bought?
yeah, the Panasonics.
Some nice
Panasonics. These are the fuck, I don't know.
Movie production.
They're the
ones.
170s.
A170, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember.
Nice cameras. I mean, instead of using the pan tilt zooms that we normally have, I mean, we're using what was made for low budget movie production. So
Very low budget.
look pretty cool. Got the whole cine style lens on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually does look pretty
Yeah,
good.
they're nice.
I
They're
mean-
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I see how you're looking right at the camera too.
I don't. Hi.
So this show is, just kind of an open forum. We don't talk about whatever. So who wants to take it away?
Well, I mean, we can talk about the Hawaii fires if you want. That's
You
kinda
can talk
crazy.
about whatever you want.
Okay, yeah. So the Hawaiian fires is just an interesting topic, and I thought that we can bring that up. There's a lot of interesting stuff about it. I mean, they said that it was started by a hurricane and all this kind of stuff, with like power lines falling down, setting shit on fire, and all kinds of stuff like that. It's just interesting when you look through the photos and stuff.
I thought originally they said it was electrical lines.
Yeah, they blew down
Well, I
electrical
heard
lines from
lightning.
what they said, and then there's lightning up in the hills, and there's all kinds of shit, and because the crazy wind, it blew the fires towards the coast, but yet there's a perfectly circular shape ring of fire in the water, which is another interesting thing. It's something you don't often see. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just reminds me of the Paradise Fires in California. And the interesting thing about the Paradise Fires is that the entire town was engulfed with flames, but yet the trees were left completely fine. They're still green. They're still growing. And then the most interesting thing about it is that they found different types of metals and stuff like that, like aluminum and shit. I think it was aluminum dioxide or whatever on the trees themselves. But even the porcelain sinks and bathtubs were melted. And I don't know about y'all, but I mean that's a pretty hot fire. That's a really hot fire. I mean, you're talking over 3,500 degrees.
It's funny. I sent it to the group that we're live right now, and there is nobody in here, except for I'm pretty sure your phone.
Yeah, my phone's still
That's awesome.
hanging
That's
out.
awesome support.
Yeah, fuck faces.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell?
I came all the way from Texas to be on this show. And
Just to
nobody's
be
in here.
on this
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
I
it
mean-
just flew in today.
I mean, I just flew in a few hours ago, and nobody's here. Fuck all y'all.
Unfucking believable.
Yeah, man. You know, like I came back from Amsterdam for this.
I'm getting back on the plane in a couple hours.
You got
Turnaround flight.
what? You got about 6 hours,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
that prosecutor better be fired, kind of thing.
Shit, pretty much. Yep,
Hot damn.
pretty much.
Yeah. So, with the fires in Hawaii, what stands out the most is that if you look at the pictures of Lahaina, the island of Maui, I believe, a lot of the things that were burned, I mean, some of them are melted like melted aluminum. I believe that's over 1800 degrees or 2200 degrees to melt aluminum. And if you look at pavement, like what do they call it, asphalt, it only takes about 300 to 400 degrees to melt asphalt. And regardless if it turns into a puddle or jello or whatever, those cars should have sank at least. You know what I mean? There should have been some divots in the road from that. If that's the
nothing.
case, yeah, and there's nothing. It just looks like stable ground. And I mean, there could be a debate too, where it could be like instead of asphalt, it's what do they call that? Seal coat.
Asphalt. Seal coat?
Yeah,
like
seal
chip seal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they
Yeah,
could
but
use
even then, if it's
seal.
chip seal, it's oil.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
going to
but the
melt.
concrete underneath it wouldn't do anything, right? Concrete doesn't.
Concrete doesn't burn.
Yeah.
I don't think concrete can re-solidify. I mean,
It's
liquefy.
not. Yeah, it's not going to liquefy.
after it's
It'll
like that.
crack, but it won't. It won't turn to liquid.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna give in like that. But
Oh.
Wicked Wheels. What is up?
what's up, Wheels? Yeah. So some of the pictures that I've seen here of Lahaina was that there's I think a series of four
Hey, Wicked, how does it sound? We haven't done this in a while.
4 to 6 blue umbrellas
We're not very good at our jobs.
outside of a burn cafe.
Is it quiet? Do I need to turn things up a little bit?
Hello, hello, hello.
2 turnips in heat.
Lahaina
Sounds good.
2 turntables and a microphone.
blue.
3 microphones, technically.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Yep.
umbrellas. Let's see here.
We're looking at umbrellas.
Ah, yeah. So
Oh.
there you go.
Oh, look at that shit. Umbrellas unburned, but everything
Right
else,
next.
and they're blue.
Yeah, they're right next to a burned cafe, right? And
Yeah.
the trees are still standing tall.
Yeah, trees are still standing. Yeah, blue umbrellas.
So what they did was there's this videos that's been surfacing around that's a laser, and it's made for doing like designs in fabric in China.
Mm-hmm.
So you can artificially cut jeans and put designs in it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And they did this video here, and it goes through yellow, burns yellow, red, but it doesn't touch the blue, and then it burns the shit out of the green.
So maybe they put those up after the fire, so that way they
Well,
weren't,
what
you
they
know, in direct sunlight. They could sit in the shade while
What they
waiting
were,
on help.
yeah, it could have been after the fact. You know, someone instead of putting out the fire, they just put up some, brand new umbrellas to kind of
Keep
the
shade.
Yeah, give the fire some shade or something.
Yep.
Yeah, chill out the
They got them
fire
some-
gods.
They got Mai Tais sitting on the beach, you know, under the umbrella.
Yeah. So what they were saying was that there's a 787 direct energy laser plane. Direct energy
Laser plane.
Laser beam. Yeah,
Let's see.
sounds like a bunch of shit to me.
This guy right here, U.S. Air Force.
Of course.
The YAL-1, Boeing's airborne laser system. And they were saying that it was most likely caused by something like this.
So Hawaii was a test place.
Possibly.
Are we talking about that LiDAR, the green laser?
Yeah.
So I've seen that in real life. I've actually seen the LiDAR. We were driving up from California, and God, it was probably 10 o'clock at night because we were just getting into Washington, past Vancouver. You know, getting up north, and all of a sudden this green light, just brilliant green light. My uncle and I were both in the car for it, and we were both awake. Well, obviously somebody was driving, but all of a sudden there's this green fucking flash that goes all over everything, and we're like, what in the fuck was that?
That was E.T.
So I think what you saw is a little bit different than this. This is basically directing energy into a concentrated beam. What you're talking about is a green laser. This one isn't so much a green laser. It's like taking a convex lens and putting it in front, using the
Well, they can
sun's
probably do it with infrared.
power. Yeah, so what they said was interesting enough that they saw these green lasers appear when the those Chinese air blimps or whatever flew over. And what they saw was different arrays, different lines. It wasn't just one stable beam kind of sweeping across like a, what do you call that? Kind of like if you had a dustpan, how it's all, connected, and they were like sweeping like that. It looked like more like a comb, and it was separated beams, like maybe, I don't know, between 15 and 20 of them, and they all lit up one at a time, and then they disappeared.
Whatever it is, it definitely sucks for the people of Hawaii or for Maui. I mean,
Oh,
that's just,
sure.
Yeah.
that's a terrible thing to happen.
Well, and one of the things that I'm thinking is that green laser is just mapping land in the middle of the night. It could be a type of night vision too, to be able to see what's going on the ground without,
Oh, it's probably LiDAR or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know, though.
But it's interesting because you're not supposed to be able to see LiDAR. That's an infrared.
If you're in the chat, say hello.
So I don't know, but I mean, if you want to kind of zoom in on this guy,
I have no capabilities to zoom
oh, that's
anymore.
right.
Yeah, we're no longer pan tilting.
Nope, no pan
We're
tilt zooms.
stationary with
Stationary.
cinematic cameras.
Well, I think you're
But-
kind of zoomed in on that. but
Panasonic. Look at there.
That's kind of the plane there, and I can zoom in on my side here.
There you go.
So on the front of this is, I believe, a 787 that the front of the nose was converted to have that laser attached to it. And this is called the YAL-1. It's the U.S. Air Force Airborne Laser System. And a lot of people are speculating that something like this could easily cause fire. Not saying that it did. And also not saying that it's not possible that a whole power line, fell down and caused this fire in Lahaina at the same exact time that there was a hurricane to blow the fires across the entire island there and make a ring of fire. I'm saying that it's quite possible that something like this could have happened where it started out in the hills at the exact same time that there was wind blowing and whatever, and then just fucking burned everything. But what's interesting about it is, like I mentioned, is that there was blue cars on the road, and then there's blue umbrellas and blue houses, and none of that shit was burned. Not one of it. And it's very odd to me that you would have a fire over 2,000 degrees burning through a whole entire island and these things not be touched.
That's just saying.
And
it's
that's
like, here's a signal of the blue side did this.
well, and Simpsons had an episode that the exact same fucking thing happened in this episode. And it's very interesting because they showed the blue umbrellas
Yeah.
in the episode.
Yeah.
And they also show the statue that melted in the episode as well. It's fucking weird how Simpsons does this shit, but I think it's predictive
Simpsons
text.
know something.
It's
Simpsons
definitely
know
predictive
things.
something.
Yep.
They got to
Hey,
show you before they do it.
Do we got a better chair here? This armrest is really bugging the shit out of me.
You can move the armrests.
No,
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can grab this one
I'm
here.
gonna grab
behind.
another chair.
Yeah, just throw that one over there to the side.
Technical difficulties, everyone. Technical difficulties. Should we go on camera of what RJ's doing?
Yeah, here.
Oh, I did the wrong one.
Hey, don't touch me there. Don't touch me there. Spit on your fingers at least.
Oh yeah.
Oh, these chairs are heavy, aren't they?
Well, they're good quality chairs. It's hard to get good quality things anymore.
Good quality chair.
But it's weird. You would
Except
think,
for that one that I was sitting in.
well, you would think
Everybody's a critic.
that if they're coming from China, they'd be a little bit lighter to save on shipping costs, right?
Well, they took all our metal, so they're putting it to good
Well, they
use.
fill them with fucking bamboo,
Probably water,
water, leftover crops.
Leftover crack.
rice patties. That's
Yeah,
a
it's-
lot better.
So the story about Hawaii is very interesting, and the other thing I wanted to notice too about this was that they have the largest air raid system in the world, over 400 sirens, and this is in Hawaii in general. The entire group of islands is 400 air raid sirens. And on Lahaina itself, it has over 80 sirens, and none of them went off. And the crazy thing is, too, is that the chief of police, the governor, the mayor were all on vacation when this happened. And then the kids were sent home early from school for a possible warning, but yet the parents were still working. So guess what happened?
People died.
Put two and two together.
So
Parents weren't there to help their kids out. And now they can't find 380 something bodies or something like that. And all the bodies from the kids are missing.
well, prayers for the Islanders. Hopefully they
Whoever's
can come
tapping
back
on the table, knock it off.
with this crack pipe over here.
Yeah, I'm putting fentanyl inside here, you know. It's just one of
Got
those
to take
things.
the edge off, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. What's it like to be Hunter Biden?
Oh, that's
10% for the big man.
Too soon?
Not too soon.
Too soon?
I can't wait, man.
good. Where the hell's Commie Conrad at?
I don't know.
I'm surprised he ain't in here.
Let's
You know
see.
he likes to talk shit.
The other interesting thing that just happened, and I was just talking about this before it even happened. I said that Trump was going to get arrested on Thursday, and he sure as hell did. And they got his mugshots everywhere. And the funniest thing is that Republicans are more excited about this mugshot than the Democrats are. And
I don't know. Conrad's pretty excited about it.
dude,
Yeah, he was jumping up and down for joy.
the Republicans are so excited that they made fucking shirts of this. And the funny thing is that Trump actually posted this picture on Twitter for the first time since his ban in 2021. He was banned from Twitter on January 6, 2021, and today, I believe it was today, was the first time ever coming back to the platform, which he has no reason to go back. He has True Social now. But the first time ever, he posted his mugshot on there and what he was accused of. And then he also put his website in there too. So it's like he's advertising. So he's getting all the
Well, his fan base.
that the gibs and gabs, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I think some interesting stuff's gonna start happening here pretty soon. A lot sooner than I thought, anyway. You know, I've been saying this for fucking years now. You know, non-conspiracy side.
How far
whatever.
down the rabbit hole are you guys going today?
Not too far. Just touch the surface, I guess.
Just glad to be back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole thing that I can talk about as far as this.
The whole thing.
Yeah, whole thing. As far as like a rabbit hole, I've got a whole ass rabbit hole that goes all the way down to China.
That fucker's deep.
Yeah, it's massive.
Way deep.
And I mean, we're talking about shit that was posted years ago, right? That correlates with what just happened. And we're not talking Simpsons. We're talking about that whole Q stuff. We're not supposed to be talking about the number 17, one of the favorite numbers in the alphabet.
What does that end with?
Well, what the hell is number 17? I'm new to this.
Number 17?
Yeah, what's this about?
What's the 17th number in the alphabet?
I don't even know right off the top of my head.
It's Q.
Is it?
What's the whole QAnon thing?
I don't know.
QAnon thing was talking about a conspiracy of the deep state trying to take over the world and
That's been going
get rid
on.
of people and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
been going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've seen that coming since I was 16. So
So and so the interesting thing about this is, like I said, there's a whole ass fucking rabbit hole, and the way that it all kind of ends up is it kind of gets spoon fed, I guess, so to speak.
Supposedly we got 4 people watching. If you're in, say hello. Oh yeah,
who's
Wicked
watching?
just brought up something.
COVID politics are coming back. Yes, they are.
I've
Yeah.
been saying that too. The mask mandates are supposed to hit by the end of this year. I've been told October.
It's kind of funny because it just seems like it's here on the West Coast.
No, it's not just that. It's just funny because the political season is starting to heat up as well.
Yeah, this
too.
happens every single time.
Yeah, but it just seems to be hitting more here on the West Coast because, I mean, COVID really wasn't a thing down there in Texas, so
Yeah,
they
so
didn't give a shit.
I don't know. I've had it multiple times. It's nothing to me. So
So with his post, he put what he was basically accused of, and let's see if I can find. what it was.
Wicked says it's already starting in some medical buildings.
Yep. Yeah, I've already heard. What's that dude's name? God, I can't think of
Stop
his name.
tapping on the fucking table.
You know
Put
what?
your crack pipe away. Wait till afterwards.
What's that guy's name? Military dude. Fuck, I can't remember.
Yeah,
his name.
please.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot of them.
That's
No,
helping out.
he's the one that always talks about, you know, being on Trump's side. He's got really short hair. He's got his own talk show.
Show me one military guy with long hair.
I can show you a bunch.
I mean, I
on the
haven't seen
cover,
any
right?
in the military.
I saw Rambo, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So election interference, never surrendered Donald Trump is what he posted on here. And then those first letters of each of those is end. And it goes to a post that's talking about this in 2019, that what's next that's coming is some major arrests, which is interesting because they said that even on the whole Q website stuff was that once Trump comes back, it's going to get really interesting, especially towards October. But anyways, what I think is with a lot of this stuff, especially in the political climate, I think that they're going to try and push a new narrative. And the new narrative is just, my personal opinion is that you can't comply 100%. You have to, put your fucking hands up and say, hey, I'm not doing this shit again. I'm not going to lockdowns. I'm not fucking, I'm not dealing with masks again after the first time.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
We stopped our lives. Businesses were ended. People were killed.
Oh, how cool is that?
That's pretty cool there.
So,
I like that.
yeah, I like that.
I wish
So-
you could do it for more than just two of them. You can only do it for two.
Well, there's only two of us here.
Well, not technically.
Well, you're beyond the scenes because you're too ugly to be on camera. So
That's true.
the sexy guys are up here.
That's right. It's our spotlight.
That hurts.
It's okay. I'll rub you later.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah, I know you miss it.
So, yeah, but anyways, this goes back to the whole Q thing, talk about the first arrest is going to shock the world kind of thing, and then Trump being arrested, and then basically they're trying to arrest his lawyers from speaking out, but
Well, they already did.
Oh, so yeah, so the interesting thing about that is that once he goes to trial, they bring up what's called discovery. Means that he has to prove his innocence, and that's when all the information gets presented. So, and what he was talking about is that he wants this trial or this case being publicly displayed, and the prosecuting attorneys are trying to fight against that and saying that this needs to be a private thing or whatever.
Well,
and
of
he
course
says,
they
no.
are.
He says, I don't care about it. I'm the one who should say whether or not this should be publicized or this shouldn't be publicized.
Well, sorry, I can make adjustments on the fly, but
We got
I'll go back to.
We got the. Oh,
We were almost
we're
there.
having fun.
I'll get it done. Just do your thing.
We were.
But he says that he wants the whole court case publicized because it's his court trial and he has the right to do so instead of it being a private thing. And
Because they don't want the people to see what's actually going on behind the closed doors.
yep.
So
And he's
yeah.
talking about declassifying all the files on the deep state currently about what he knows and what's going to happen and all this kind of stuff. And everybody's shaking his boots. And I mean, granted, it's a joke, right? He got arrested with a $200,000 bail. Come on, give me a break.
He's already out. He's back home.
A $20 billion bail? Now that's Alex Jones status, right? I mean, that's something to kind of, oh shit. But 200,000, that's a fucking nod and a wink.
That's pocket change.
That's a nod and a wink.
He's already
right
back
there.
home.
So it's very interesting, and especially given the RNC debates, he wasn't there because he was getting arrested. So it's just they're trying to take him out of the limelight so he can't run for president.
That's it. Because they know he'll win. So they're going to do what they can to keep him locked up to keep from running.
Yeah. Yeah, so the next bit of information, or the next article I think that's interesting to talk about is the BRICS Nation. which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, and now Iran and Egypt are going to join,
Oh, they're all kicking it together.
as well as Argentina, Ethiopia, and the UAE. And then they were talking about how, let's see, who was this? What country was it? I think it was Africa was the only one that hasn't changed their currency yet. But essentially what is being said is that once BRICS starts, because they already have a system, and it's going to run on the Ripple system, which is XRP. For those of you guys don't know, it's basically an Ethereum blockchain-based currency platform or an exchange platform. And the BRICS is going to be a currency, crypto-based currency, so it's going to be based on digital and actual currency backed by gold between all these other nations here. And what is being said is that they're going to drop them. They're going to basically release the BRICS currency at $50 to $1. And they're going to basically short sell the entire United States economy because all of them are going to BRICS instead of the U.S. petrodollar. So it sounds like the U.S. economy is going to have a difficult time coming here shortly if something doesn't happen. And
Well, speaking of currency, I heard something about a state has already gone to no more accepting cash. Did you hear about that?
I don't know what state that is, but a lot of them are going to be going digital because the FedNow system started in July 1st, which basically makes it a federal digital currency backed by the banks.
So we're screwed.
Backed by the federal currency, backed by the CNBC, which is the what's that?
Clinton News Broadcasting Channel.
Is your youngin out there now?
No, she's behind you, bro. She's quiet.
What's that called? The
Is she not behind you?
No, she's on the floor behind me.
Yeah,
I thought she was on the couch.
Capital
started
Bank
on
or
the
something like
couch.
that. I forgot what the bank is called, but there's one in every country, I believe, or there's probably multiple, but it's
Yeah,
basically
that's
the major
screwed.
bank of the federal system. And essentially, what they did was they created the FedNow system, which basically the government can track every dollar you spend.
Yeah, that's pretty screwed.
And once they go to a digital platform versus cash based, then I mean it's pretty much obsolete, the US dollar. And then once BRICS comes out, I mean the dollar is collapsed anyway, and you have no money because you can't use your account. So I mean it's kind of a check and mate situation. It's just something to kind of prepare for. So I guess that leads into the next topic: is what are you guys doing to prepare yourself if something like this were to happen?
Hold that thought.
Hey,
Hold that thought for a second. Today's show is brought to you by the First Amendment and America. We get to do this because America. Back to you guys.
well, thank you.
Well, and I mean, if something like this were to happen, what would you think the worst case scenario would be? There'd be no food at the groceries. There'd be riots and shit everywhere because people are trying to get food that they can't get now. So,
I mean, the shelves are already bare.
yeah, you've seen that too. huh?
I've
You've
seen
been
that up
noticing
here.
that?
Yeah,
the last couple months
last
now?
couple months, it seems like there's hardly
Seems
anything
like
on the
they're
store
barely
shelves.
restocking stuff.
Yeah.
Lately, I found out within this last month or two, I buy a formula that's called Kendamil Organic. It's an organic-based formula made in Germany or made in the United Kingdom, and it's a really good formula. I've been feeding it to my kid since he was, brand new,
Newborn.
so to speak. And now you can't find it on any shelves at all. It's just all non-organic based stuff.
And again, like I said, it just seems like that's only happening here on the West Coast because,
I don't know.
I just came back from Texas and not one time did I see any kind of shortages in the grocery stores for anything. Now, I didn't look at baby formula because obviously I don't have a baby anymore,
Yeah,
but food-wise,
produce and all that.
never had an issue.
Well,
They were stocked to the gills in
and another
Texas.
interesting thing too is, my bad, Mike. Another thing interesting too is, with when you think about the Gates Foundation and Bill Gates owning 270,000 plus acres of land, and then the synthetic meats and shit coming to the stores,
Yeah.
it almost makes you feel that they're trying to deplete the reserves, right? So,
Desserts.
Yeah, the desserts, so that they can basically stock their shelves with artificial or lab
Plastic
grown
food.
whatever. You
Yep.
know, like I've already seen, I don't know how many videos now of like this what do they call that? It's like string meat for chicken. Have you seen those videos
Oh,
yet?
no, but it's
The
just plastic, isn't
Impossible
it?
Burgers.
Yeah, people are buying chicken, and when they cook it, it's coming out all stringy. And then they have eggs, and it comes out almost as hard as a plastic when they're done boiling it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to Mike's and plucking the chicken off.
Oh, you and me
No,
too.
you fucking are not.
Oh, yeah.
My wife should be watching.
You know,
She'll tell you different.
if we were all smart, we'd be taking them good old freaking nuggets and then hatching our own little chickens from them. You know what I'm saying? But
That does happen.
But we're not smart.
we're not smart. Oh, I just don't have the land for that. That's for sure.
Well, you don't need land for a chicken.
Yeah.
Give it a square box and it's happy.
Yeah.
I mean, have
Yeah,
you been to a chicken farm?
I want free range chickens.
Have
man.
you been to a chicken farm besides Berrylicious?
Oh yeah, yeah. My great grandfather had
Yeah.
a chicken farm with
Yeah.
over 200 chickens.
Yeah,
It
well,
was massive.
yeah,
It was
I
like a
mean-
whole freaking warehouse.
yeah,
But
and they're
they
all
weren't-
stuck in boxes.
Yeah, and they weren't free range chickens.
Right. Yep.
They were just
Oh.
coop fed chickens.
Hey, baby girl, how are you? Look at that. My oldest is on here.
What's going on, Cadence? So yeah, it's very interesting how you think about things, and I've been seeing this new video coming up about Gates's new company for what do they call that? Artificial avocados or whatever that got a
What the
Gross.
fuck?
it's number 405 or something like that on the sticker number, and it's a purple label, and they're mixed in with all the farm grade avocados.
The real avocados.
Yep, and they're the same exact number. Same exact number. You
Yeah,
just have to
they're
look at the
just-
company name.
They're just poisoning us.
So, and another interesting thing is, I was looking at these organic watermelons, right? Because, interesting fact, I'm not sure if you guys have been to the store recently and tried to grab a watermelon. They're all seedless. There's no seeded
Yeah,
watermelons
they don't
anymore.
want you. They don't want you growing your own food.
Well, and even if they are seeded, they're white seeds.
Yeah.
They're not black
Yeah,
seeds.
they don't. They don't want you growing your own food anymore.
So,
Everything's illegal.
well, and now there is what's called organic watermelons, which are these small little baby watermelons, right? They're probably about the size of a volleyball or a soccer ball or whatever. And the interesting thing about it, when I was reading it, says organic, and it said something like Lab Dynamics on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not organic.
No. Well, it is.
No,
Yeah. It's grown in a lab. It's organic.
No, it's probably born with, yeah, it's probably made with organic matter.
Yeah. You know, dead flesh, grown in flesh.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
but they said that there's a way to basically dehydrate fruits and vegetables
God, it sucks doing this show in the summertime. It's hotter than
pump
fucking
in
here.
vaccines and whatever you want into them.
Of course.
So
Yeah, they're going to
taking
get us one
watermelon,
way or
they're
another
sucking out all the water, and then they're pumping the water with all these
with all
you know,
these.
shit that they
Yep.
want to add to it. So that way, when you eat it, if you refuse the vaccine, you're still getting the vaccine. Doesn't
Yep.
matter.
Yep.
And then with the meats too, they're vaccinating all the animals, the cows and chickens and stuff like that. So the eggs they eat,
Well, all the steroids and everything else they pump into our animals.
Yeah, the
you
milk.
Not
know,
our
I mean,
eggs.
Well,
Not our eggs.
Definitely not your eggs there, Mike. No. Mm-mm.
yeah. So it's interesting to think about, man. You guys got to watch what you eat. You really do. I mean, I would suggest starting your own stuff. honestly.
I'm only here to live once, so I'm gonna eat what the fuck I want to eat, and if I die, I die.
Yeah.
Tegan's picking on me.
Well, good. And KK, your phone sucks.
Ah,
Yeah, it's just interesting thinking about all these different types of subjects and stuff that you come to. And I'm not saying that everything is a conspiracy, but it's definitely eye opening to think about something like that.
What do you want me to tell you, Cadence?
that her phone sucks.
That your phone sucks? It sucks.
Cadence, your phone sucks.
There you go. Everybody has told you. JD, would you like to tell my daughter?
What kind of phone do you have?
It sucks. Just tell her it sucks.
It's definitely not an Apple.
Fuck Apple.
Mm.
Yeah, I know someone broke it though, so it doesn't help. It worked fine before.
It's my head.
Well, yeah. I meant you tell them it's a what?
TCL 20XE.
Garbage. That
What's
sounds
a
like
TCL?
garbage.
Garbage.
Sounds like. Is that the brand of your phone there?
Yeah, it's a TCL. They make TVs too. They're all the TVs are all right.
No, they're garbage too.
No, shut. Who are you talking to? I'm fucking.
Talking to the expert.
They're okay. But go Samsung.
Yeah.
I like Samsung.
Yeah.
By the way, they're having a sale at Fred Meyer's right now for I think it's a 60-inch Samsung TV for $429.
Ooh, I'm
Smart
getting a back
TV.
massage now. She's punching me in the back.
Oh, good job, Tegan.
They also have a TCL 50-inch TV for $200 and something. So I
Yeah,
believe that's also a
that's
smart
spot.
TV too. So if you
Yeah,
guys
it
are
is.
looking for a
Yeah,
TV,
it's got built-in stuff in it already. You know, Roku, all that.
yeah, I know. I'm looking for a TV, so I
Are you?
happened to see that yesterday, and it was pretty cheap. And I was like, no,
Well, you
economy's
just-
gonna collapse. I need to save my money.
You just need to. You just
I
need to
need
take one
TV.
out of the Mariners Stadium. That's all.
Nah, I thought about it, but there's nothing good enough to do that with yet.
Oh,
No, we don't talk like that here.
I'm just kidding.
No, you gotta mainly ask for permission or buy one.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Well, and that's
I mean, didn't y'all just change them all out?
yeah, but a lot of them are
if you
being
want
donated.
20-year-old Sanyos.
Yeah, a lot of them are being donated. Some of them were for outside display only, and I don't have something that.
I think my Sony's like 20 years old. That thing's a block.
Mhm.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I want something kind of like what we have, maybe a little bit less industrial, like Mike has on the other side of the wall there. The Everbright,
NEC.
yeah, the NECs.
Yeah, those. Yeah, those are commercial grade, right?
Yes.
NECs.
Yeah, these are video wall displays.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to make
I remember hanging those up at one time. And now you do it, Justin.
What's that?
Oh, she put us on the TV.
Video walls. I put y'all on the TV.
Woo! Look, Mama, I'm on TV.
About time.
I think another interesting thing is all these places in Europe, they're starting to discover, quote unquote, they're starting to discover that there's actual more depth to the land than they thought there was, like buried cities and stuff like that. You remember hearing about what the mud flood was?
I believe so.
Joe Rogan had a podcast. I'm not sure when it was, but they were
Is that
talking
like-
about
Mudbutt.
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
but a little bit more earth wide. So, yeah, a little bit more drastic. But they were talking about a comet that hit the Earth. I don't know how many thousands of years ago, and it caused a massive tsunami. And basically, what it did was it restructured the entire Earth and how the continents are laid out, and buried a lot of ancient civilizations and all that kind of stuff.
Was that water displacement like what we talked about a while back?
Yes and no, but I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
we're talking about also like a giant meteor hitting was it or not Alaska, but Australia, that big ass crater.
Yeah.
Interesting. It looks like a place in Montana or whatever that's on Far Cry 5. I'm not sure you ever played that or not, but it's all surrounded by a giant high cliffs, but it looks like a meteor hit it at one point. Yeah, but it seems like the Earth has changed as far as the layout.
KK. Pointing at you. Sorry, she pointed
Oh.
at me.
There you go. So yeah, but they were talking about these massive tsunamis that happened, and this whole climate change and stuff like that. And they said, well, if you really think about it, it's kind of a farce, because why would they be selling you 30-year mortgages on your house if the world was going to end in 30 years for climate change and rising water levels and all this kind of stuff? And if you also think about it a little bit further, why does Obama, what's her name, not Rosie O'Donnell,
Oprah?
Oprah Winfrey and all them live in Martha's Vineyard off the coast if they're afraid of the water levels rising? They all live right next to the water, which is interesting. Yeah, it's just, and then so a little bit further than that was that they were talking about these mud floods that happened like 1800s, 1900s that buried half of the city essentially, and they build new roads on top of them. and they were talking about frequency generators, and basically what happened was all these towns and buildings or whatever sunk into the earth, so to speak, and then they basically buried them. Well, they're starting to uncover a bunch of this stuff now. They talk about the Anunnaki from Egypt. They discovered that in the Grand Canyon. That there's,
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they, aren't they saying that, like, there's some Egyptian hieroglyphics down in the bottom of the canyon?
yeah, there's a
And
whole
there's
cave.
like a whole cave of gold.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there was a whole cave of treasures back when Eisenhower was there, and I guess they discovered it back then, and they declared it a military zone or whatever.
Yeah, they're keeping everybody out of there.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they had this thing of like all these circles that kind of stand up, these stargates, so to speak.
Mhm.
They had these stargates all around the world, and then they all of a sudden started disappearing. And they said that there's kind of like a conspiracy about it. All the governments were taking them to see which ones work and which ones don't, kind of thing. But just it's
So they could
interesting,
just-
man.
They could just hop across the world through a little time warp thing.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
guess they did a test off the coast of Florida or something like that.
Of course they
were,
did.
They were able to basically transfer a ship from one side to
RJ
the other.
loves Florida.
From
Oh.
one side
His
to the other
favorite.
side of the top of like Maine or something like that, within a split second.
That's crazy.
Uh,
Well, no, I don't love Florida, Mike. You know, there's parts that I miss, but no, I don't miss it there. Glad to be home.
yeah, it's got to be nice. I mean,
Florida can sink. So,
what's interesting too about this state is that all these people are talking about seeing like 3 or 4 or 5 suns and moons and all that kind of stuff and all these UFOs and strange
Here in
effects.
Washington?
No, just
Oh.
in general, right?
Well,
And
the
it's like
Earth
I
is
don't
flat.
see any of that shit here. And that's a good way to combat the whole flat Earth thing. The world's not flat, just America.
that's it. There's no hills here.
Yeah, we have 3-dimensional objects here hidden behind green screens.
You know, the mountain is just a picture, you know.
It's a Roadrunner type situation.
That's it, you know. Yeah,
Airplane tries to fly over the mountain, just flies in this big ass billboard.
that's it. Yeah,
Cadence says Florida sucks.
that's right, baby. Did you actually say that? Yeah, you should. I know you hate it there.
It's grody.
I'm surprised she hasn't said, Dad, I'm coming home.
She's probably typing now.
She is. I can see it. I sense it right now. She'll be popping up any minute. Boogie. Oh, excuse my French, but Florida fucking sucks. Great language, sweetheart. I taught you well. Yeah.
Just looking for explanation.
You kiss your mom with that mouth, baby girl? Just kidding. I love you.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. There's so much to talk about. I guess Maui released the names of the 388 people that are missing.
Well, they may have been the ones that jumped off the cliff into the ocean because there was a bunch of people jumping off the cliffs into the ocean during the
Yeah,
fires.
there's a lot of people in the water at that time.
No, I just I send my prayers out for them over there in Hawaii. I mean, I've got a friend whose whole family's over there, and yeah, that's a shitty ordeal. So best luck to all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and did you hear about the Wagner plane crash in Russia?
The Wagner Group.
Yeah, the Wagner group.
No, I don't even know who the Wagner group is. Are they
Uh,
somebody important?
Basically, what was it, a gun runner, Mike? This warlord essentially was on this plane with 6 other people, crashed in Russia on a private jet, and it just looked
Yeah,
like
he
they were
owned
shot
a
down.
mercenary group. So
Oh, shit.
25,000 people. They were fighting. They were fighting for Russia in the Ukraine war.
Oh, shit. All right.
And just for you all too that are watching, Martin Luther King Jr. was also arrested. So
Yeah.
the whole Trump being arrested thing doesn't really speak to any
Yep.
color of
Yep.
conscience to me as far as what's right and what's wrong. I mean, yeah, everybody's gonna laugh at the Trump mugshot and stuff, but you have to understand everybody who tried to create peace in the world were also arrested for doing so. So,
Arrested or murdered.
yeah, arrested or murdered.
You know.
How's everybody in the chat doing? Everybody doing good?
Anybody in California that got Clinton recently?
Oh, you mean Killereed?
Killereed? Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
There's huge floods in California.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Everybody
That's
was
right.
laughing about
Yeah.
the Hillary hurricane or whatever, and then everybody ended up suicided down there.
Hmm.
These huge floods.
Well,
I don't know
Cali.
about everybody.
Well,
Not
Cali.
everybody,
I
but-
mean, welcome to Florida. You know, so
Yeah.
that's good. That shocked me when they said a hurricane hit Cali. I was like, what?
Oh, this
Okay.
is 50 minutes ago. 3 schools districts
Oh,
suspended.
we're dropping
in-person-
out. Dropping out. Hang on.
Miss you too, baby.
Dropping out. All right, we're back.
3 school districts suspend in-person classes due to COVID-19 and other illnesses. This was
What?
as of 50 minutes ago. 3 school districts in the county
I tried.
or in the country have canceled in-person learning this week as local officials report drastic drops in student and teacher attendance attributed to COVID-19 and other illnesses.
I'm being attacked in here, by the way.
Kentucky,
Get 'em, Boogie.
you can hear.
Oh, I could hear it. Yeah, she beating you up.
She is beating me up.
Yeah, she is.
She got this like snake fist thing going on. It's an
It's
emu.
an
What's an emu?
emu.
I'm being emued right now. I don't really like it.
That's good.
Tegan, you should get on camera and say hey to your sister. You should come say hi to KK. Come here, Boogie. Come here, baby girl.
Krabby Patty's on her way.
Come here, Krabby Patty. Welcome to the World Wide Web.
Worldwide. Wide.
Say hi. Say hi, KK. Say it right here in the mic.
I think one thing that kind of irritated me too about this Hawaii thing,
Look right there. You say hi.
about this Hawaii, your sister's watching you.
Say hi.
Dude,
All right, you out of here? All right. Bye, Emu. Oh, KK said, go, Tegan. Go, little ferocious one. She's very ferocious. You okay? You smacked your head on the microphone stand.
I think one thing that kind of irritated me too was that they proposed a $700 per family federal assistance for the people in Lahaina and
What the hell
Maui,
is that going to buy him?
but they proposed a new bill for $40 billion to Ukraine. It's like
Yeah.
spit in America's face while you're at it.
KK says she misses you and she loves you.
So, how you been, man? I heard you've been working.
Working a lot. Working for the school district out here in Lakewood, and trying to start over again. I'm really good at it. I've got many years of it.
Yeah.
So,
Laying
maybe
pipe?
maybe this is my final resting stop, but we'll see.
Got many years of laying pipe, huh?
Many years, and I guess there's some bets going on. Are you in on the bet?
No,
No, not yet.
Oh,
I didn't even hear about this bet. What's
yeah,
this
there's
bet
a
going?
bet pool on how long I'm gonna stay up here again. I'm like a gypsy. I just kind of wander. So
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have access to move around.
Well,
Kind of anchored in.
I don't have access either. I just make it happen.
Yeah.
I just kind of just go with it and figure it out along the way. So, but I'm tired. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I've done it for too long. So
Yeah, I feel
20
that.
years of just bouncing around. Tired. So
Yeah, I did that for a while too.
I'm gonna get a
Maybe 10 years.
I'm gonna get a motor home, like a Prevost.
Oh, there you go.
I want a Prevost, man. They're bad. They're
Yeah.
only a couple million.
Did you see that one that I showed you?
Which one?
that truck or whatever that was all souped up? When I was going to Seattle, yeah, there was a $700,000 truck on the road. And
Nice.
it's basically one of those zombie utility vehicles or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
The counterpart to that, the upgraded version, is $2.3 million.
What the hell? Who's WF?
Wells Fargo, man.
Who the fuck is Wells Fargo?
What's up, dude?
What up?
It's wet fartosis.
Wet fartosis. Okay. Wet fuck. All right. Oh shit. Cool. But no, I want to get a Prevo, and so if I get tired of looking at my neighbor, I could just drive off. So
Yeah, hopefully you don't end up resorting in those like Walmart parking lots or whatever. You know what I mean?
Big dick in the house. Well, yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Big dicked.
Big dick lib. Oh, is that Conrad?
No. He's like, I got a project I have to do.
Oh, tell him to give his fucking balls a tug. Jesus. All right. Well, what up, WF?
Hey, Wheels, you still in here? How you been doing, man? How's your recovery? Love you too, buddy.
Yeah, love you too. I'm not sure who you are yet, but
This is our friend Chris.
oh, what up, Chris? Yeah, what's good?
Don't see him much in the chat, but we always see you in the podcast.
So WF white fucker, is that what it stands for? I don't know. What's up, Boogie? What happened? The phone went off? You're done? Yeah. So you're just going to get on camera with us out here? No. Why? Come on, Boogie.
Watch your head.
But
What's
yeah,
up?
so eventually I'm going to get the Prevo.
Yeah, they say that it's about an average. Well, it's probably more now due to inflation, but they said that it was about $10 million to retire.
10 million to retire?
$10 million to retire.
Well,
To live a life of no issues and no troubles and all that. $10 million. If you were to buy a house, do absolutely nothing.
it's true. All right. Oh. Not Conrad.
Yeah, I'm not
well,
sure.
How do you know, KK?
I'm not sure if that's changed by now. I'm sure it is.
Well, I'll be there
Yeah,
in
only
about
10
10
million.
years.
Yeah.
10 mil in 10 years. I'm going to shoot for $1 million
I'll
a year.
be there hopefully next year.
Yeah. Well, that would be fun.
Next year,
Yeah.
man. XRP Ripple stuff, man, when that shit launches, I'm pretty sure, pretty guaranteed that's gonna do some good justice there.
KK, that's a pretty good picture of me there. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Oh, look, she's got a guitar in the background, too, for Uncle Mike. Look at there.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
Oh, stream's dropping out again.
Yeah, I've
Fucking
seen that.
bullshit.
It's P.
It's yeah.
It's a P.
I hate it when the stream does this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, man. NFTs and digital currencies. It's unfortunate we have to resort to such things, you know, can't depend on your own currency in the world, but I mean, how the fuck are we going to get that much money if everybody else owns it?
Well,
So-
I've got a nephew who has been saving bottle caps for a few years. Is he still doing that?
That's probably pretty smart, man.
He's going to trade bottle
I
caps.
bet his thumb's pretty big too.
Yep. Is he still doing that, Mike?
Oh, I don't know. Now
Probably-
we're dropping frames. I don't know why we're dropping frames.
Hello, mother.
Hello.
Being attacked by an emu again.
Look, Mom, I'm on TV. Woohoo!
Wow, the emu's kicking my
I think I
ass
just heard
here.
Mom laugh. Or was that Tegan? Negative. Not anymore.
Is Teal the most reliable? No. You should look up BRICS, BRICS. I'm pretty sure that the US dollar as we know it's going to get wiped out.
Yeah, because of China and Russia and all them, they're all ganging up
beating me
together.
up.
Why the fuck can't I get a message? So.
Emu's beating me up.
Get her, emu, or get him. Sorry, called you a woman,
Got,
Mike.
like, fucking claws.
Michelle Berry. You got him? I see you over there, Boogie.
Damn. She's got like these little raptor claws to get me. Yeah, you
So
do
how's
like
everybody
that.
doing? You guys want to talk about something?
Teagues is in the back being an emu attacking Uncle Mikey
Yeah.
or
she's
Aunt Michelle, whichever one you want to call him.
kicking the shit out of me. I'm gonna have bruises.
BRICS Nation. I guess it started out as BRIC. Now it's BRICS. They're starting their own digital currency backed by
Ow, stop hurting
the
me.
XRP Ripple Ethereum blockchain, essentially.
Yeah, BRICS is
Brazil.
yeah, Brazil, Russia, India,
Argentina, China.
China, and Saudi Arabia.
Yep. Saudi Arabia. Yep. And I
Sorry, the
believe
stream's probably dropping out a little bit. I don't know what the heck's going on. Oh, it's really dropping now.
Quit beating them up.
I believe they're also adding Argentina or
nice.
Argentina, Africa, UAE,
What?
and they're also adding what's the last
Okay, Harry.
one? Can't think of the last one.
God, this Comcast
Be
sucks.
nice.
Yep. Feel that.
Okay, but be nice.
All crypto's risen, fallen constantly. How is that more reliable than USD? Well, let me put it to you this way. If they start trading oil and BRICS currency versus US dollar, what's that going to do? That's going to give a highlight to the BRICS currency versus the US dollar, right? And then they're also planning on short selling US dollars. So once this happens, they're planning on starting the BRICS currency, even though it's worth 0.00028 right now, I believe is what it is in crypto terms.
She gave me a breather for a minute.
Basically, when I bought into Dogecoin, that it's going to be dropped at $50 to $1.
Well, the problem is the U.S. dollar with inflation and the fact that they're taking us off the reserve currency via oil. BRICS is, yeah, the stream is acting. All right, now we're back to green. Is it good now?
Should be pretty good now.
It does that every hour or so. Just all right. Is the stream back? Are we back?
Well, they're going to change the entire way that payment systems are being done. So, in other words, what they're going to do is they're going to trade, since the FedNow system started in July 1st, when they changed everything over to the cryptocurrency for the federal dollar, so to speak, which means that basically it's no different than a blockchain at the bank anyway.
So WF, the reason why they're doing that is BRICS is trying to take over as the reserve currency as opposed to using the U.S. dollar is what the intent sounds like it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the war in Ukraine versus Russia. I mean, you know, China's been the enemy of America, and now Russia's the enemy of America because of all the support in Ukraine. It's like, you know, how many other countries can they get on board? And then if they decide that they want to create a new cryptocurrency and they have the ability to do so, China, I mean, with what is that?
Well, inflation's gone up drastically
How
since
many billions of people?
Yeah, inflation's gone up drastically in the U.S. since you know, all the printing of money that happened during COVID.
Compared to what? Well, let's just say that last year we were already $5.7 trillion in deficit just as of last year. Currently, we're sitting over $33 trillion in deficit, but just as last year, the extra amount of debt that we added was $5.7 trillion. Now, if you add up all the money we sent to Ukraine, I mean, we're already almost at $1 trillion.
Well, I'm not saying the rest of the world isn't experiencing inflation, but
Look, all we gotta do is just print more money. Okay.
there you go. Just print the money. It's fine.
Yeah. Just go cut down some more
It
trees
just
and
comes
print
out
it.
of the printer.
That's it.
You know, just spend it.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is that the point is, during the whole Belt and Roads initiative with China and trying to make deals with other countries while America looks weak because we have a weak president, China's kind of paving the way to unite with all these other countries while we're still policing the world instead of worrying about our own. And like I mentioned earlier, during the whole Lahaina fires, right, they proposed $700 to all the families that lost their houses, their children, their relatives, and their property, right? Their businesses, whatever. Basically everything that they owned. $700 per family. That's it. One-time payment. Versus the $40 billion the same week that's going to Ukraine. Now think about if it was reversed. $700 to each family in Ukraine versus the $40 billion to Lahaina. I mean, the whole point is that America is not first right now. And if we're constantly sending our assets outside so other people can get these monies, which we found out through a cryptocurrency, which was Sam Bankman-Fried, they were turning that money that we were donating to Ukraine back into currency or cryptocurrency and sending that back to the politicians. So it's like, think about that for a minute. If they're willing to make a cryptocurrency through what's called the BRICS nations, right, which is just a group of countries that aligned themselves against America, and they decide that they can trade oil and they can sell oil with that style of currency. It's going to cripple the entire American population and economy. It's as simple as that. It's no different than, if you and I were to short sell stocks for, a company like they were doing with GameStop before we all got together on Reddit and fucking bought the shit out of it and saved that company. Literally, if that didn't happen, GameStop would be gone. AMC would be gone, right?
Right. Yes.
What he said.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, sorry, I'm just reading now.
Oh,
My wet fartosis coin. Once oil barons use my crypto coin, it will be better than the USB. I'm sure it will. Geopolitics is important. If you don't support our allies, our enemies will. That's right.
want this?
That's why we have foreign policy. That's right. Otherwise, we wouldn't do shit. That's horrible. I love that. Lives, it makes me
What do you
feel
want, Peppa
that
Pig?
I am there with them, Grandma. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, no. So
Our
it's
shitty
just,
little show.
it's the art of war, right? I mean, it's no different. How
I
do you
love
how
the
do you
lives.
how do you basically take over a country? You starve the population, right? That's the first. Second one is taking over resources, right? The third one is taking over the economy. And then you have all the propaganda campaigns on pretty much almost every news outlet, left, right, middle, doesn't really matter. They're telling you all different stories. They're telling you just design stories to split people in 2 groups or 3 groups. It really doesn't matter. But, I mean, everything's been designed that way. I mean, look at the Pepsi logo, for example. It's only blue and red. I mean, there's multiple different examples
It's
of that.
red,
Pizza
white, and
Hut.
blue.
There's, well, I mean, yeah, if you count the lines, but the primary colors in Pepsi is blue and red.
Well, you know what Pepsi stands for, right?
What's it stand for?
It stands for Purchase Every Pepsi Supports Islam.
See,
Yeah.
I knew it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't know that, did you? You do now.
No, none of that makes sense. No. Yeah, actually, it does make a lot of sense, and that's been our lifetime full of war.
It's lack of thought.
It's no different, And when you think about things as far as like an outward non-conspiratorial, way of looking at things, right?
You can't look at things like that, Justin.
Yeah.
Well, you have to, because I mean, I always think about the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? Right?
So you live in
So-
a negative life.
No, I live in a
What
I'm
if?
what I'm gonna do now, and how that is going to affect me tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Okay.
And I always live my life as, okay, so what if the economy collapses? How much money do I have in my pocket? What if Mike runs out of eggs? How much eggs do I have in my freezer? What if my kids run out of food? How much food do I have stored up and canned?
So it's almost like you live in a fear,
No, I live
in a panic.
stress free pretty much, because I have everything that I need in order to survive. I have guns, I have ammo, I have food, I
Yeah.
have all the educational materials that I need. I have my guitar. I don't have a TV because I don't fucking need it.
Yeah.
I got a
I'm
cell phone to
hardly-
contact my family with. I've
Yeah.
got
I'm hardly ever on
a
TV.
Bofang radio, in case
You're
I
on
need to
TV
get a
right
hold
now?
of
I
something.
am. But I'm not watching TV.
So I've got
They're watching
my
me.
ways to survive essentially in the what if or the worst case scenarios, right? Do I have enough ammo to support my family in case someone were gonna, try to kick in the door or take something down
It's
or whatever?
getting sketchy out there, man.
And
It's getting
well,
sketchy.
yeah, and I mean, like Mike and I were talking about, one of the people that we worked closely by, was shot and put in the hospital right outside of the place that we were working at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sketchy, man. It's
It's
getting stupid.
luckily he fucking carries with him, and that's no different than anybody else. Had he not carried on him, he probably would have been dead.
Yeah, Conrad.
So it's I don't know, man. And this fucking shit happened in Seattle,
Yeah.
right?
It happens
Where-
everywhere. I mean, shit, what about that shooting just the other day on 112th in Parkland?
Yeah, they killed each other.
Killed each other at the bus stop, shot each other
Oh shit.
over an argument. just the other day on 112th in Parkland.
That's crazy.
Yeah, at the bus stop, they got in an argument and then shot each other and killed each other. Shit's crazy, bro. That's why I
That's
like
nuts.
being in the woods. You know?
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily trying to downplay what you're saying either. Wet fartosis. I'm saying that with the current economy that we have, the inflation rates and the lack of stuff that we're getting into the United States is unable to support us for the long run in the future. Think about this in the sense of electric vehicles, right? By 2030, we're supposed to have over 50% of all vehicles on the road electric, right? Okay, so in a power outage, how are you going to drive your car if your car's not charged?
That's why they want it.
In a power shortage, how are you going to charge your vehicle if the power companies, they say, okay, well, from the time of 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., you can't charge your vehicle.
They already do that with.
They do that in California.
They do that in Texas too with the AC units at your house.
Yep.
If you sign up with the electric company, with your central heating and air, they control your panel from
you sign
from
up
an
with
office.
You sign up with their bonus. It's their promo.
Yeah.
Because you save money on your bill,
Yeah,
which means
and
that
they can control your thermostat from whatever office they're at. They go into your thermostat and turn it off.
they set your shit to a timer.
Hell no. Shit.
Yep,
My
just to
house
save
has
power.
got to be 73 degrees all year round.
So, and
Still
that's,
too warm.
and I'm not, like I said, I look at a lot of things from conspiratorial means because I don't trust many people at all. And that's a good thing to be aware of. It's no different than your kids. I seen a pamphlet the other day from my kid's school that says that you should trust strangers. And if someone comes up to you, someone walks up to you, then you should be able to talk to them and not have any fear because they mean no harm and they could be innocent. Right. And I was like, what the fuck kind of shit is this?
Wow. Yeah, they want our children abducted and taken and traded. And yeah, it's fucked up. But I trust you, Justin.
Well, and like I said, yeah, exactly. And like I said, I mean, our currency is better off than most countries, right? I'm not saying that it's not, but let's put it in the perspective of inflation rate plus BRICS currency basically turns a gallon of milk into $40 a gallon. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Looks like I'm gonna suck the tit on a cow.
If ours is the last currency, and I wouldn't say the last currency, but if our currency is basically the bottom of the food chain because this happens, right? It's no different than the XRP talks when SEC lawsuit. So they're talking about once the SEC lawsuit gets freed, XRP is going to jump to $10,000 a coin because it's going to be backed by what is that called? The national securities. And it also says that because of this whole lawsuit that XRP won, SEC overstepped their bounds and they are not allowed to monitor or maintain any cryptocurrency asset for the next 5 years. So it's not even happened in the Great Depression. No. So what happened is a reset, right? And that's what happens every depression, Great Depression, or whatever it is. It's a reset. Why does XRP think it's going to happen? I already know it's going to happen. I don't have to think it's going to happen. You can go to the XRP website. They just got backed by Stripe. Because it's only hope to survive. Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, you got to go with your gut feelings on most of these things. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not giving strategic advice. I'm not giving prepper advice. I'm just telling you what I do. Mike's out here growing his own chicken farm and crops and stuff like that. So that way, at least
The Berrylicious chicken farm.
That's the wife.
Well, yeah, but Mike lives off of that
We
too.
just made a
So
logo.
the kids.
He just wants to shoot the fuckers.
Well,
we just made a logo, and our slogan is "Fresh eggs from chickens' butts."
Nice. Is it hanging on the fence now?
No, I haven't printed it yet. We just made the logo.
Yeah.
well, and like I was saying too, Chris, is even if it's USD, it doesn't matter if it switches a different style of currency. It's always going to be considered a USD because it's a US dollar, right? It's based on the dollar value. So, and that's 100 of 100. 100% of one, monetary value. That's a dollar, right?
Well, I think part of the problem is our GDP.
Yeah.
The fact is our GDP output is not nearly where it needs to be. Where we buy more than we import more than we export. So
That's one problem.
Well,
you know-
we gave away all our freaking shit that we were making to export.
Stop producing as much oil, with
well,
all the
yeah,
land
we
grants
stopped.
and stuff.
Oil production's down. We depend on China and Taiwan for electronics. Well, we depend on China for everything.
Taiwan mainly
It's
for
'cause
chips.
they
Well,
own us.
our GDP is higher than a lot of nations, but our GDP is not enough to get us out of debt. That's the biggest thing, and I think that's where a lot of inflation comes in.
Well, yeah, the debt calculator, calendar, or whatever it is, it's not 100% accurate per se, but I mean, it gives you a worldwide view of what the other countries are doing and what our country's doing. What our loan basis is. Our housing prices is 8% just to buy a house here in Washington State.
We need to
That's
get
high.
like a money person on here who knows money really
So,
well.
so do you feel like we are the modern day Rome?
No, I wouldn't say that. I definitely wouldn't say Rome. I definitely don't feel like the Roman Empire. That's for sure.
I feel that way.
Every single country is in debt to each other. Well, yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no is because we took loans from France and England bought those loans. I mean, we've been owned from the British for I don't know how many years, and finally we so-called freed ourselves from the British, which I don't fucking believe it.
They still run the world.
Well, think about this. District of Columbia isn't actually a part of the United States. It's a foreign territory, but yet there's still a White House where one person rules the entire United States. And that's controlled by who? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. So, and the reason why I say that is because everybody's trying to buy the other person's debt so that they can own that country and do whatever they want or whatever. But I mean, when you look at things as far as statistics, you got to look at the companies that have all the access to the money.
Oh, hang on a second. Today's podcast is brought to you by the First Amendment and America, because we get to do this on here and may only end up political prisoners at some point. But for right now, we're free-ish.
America.
America.
Oh,
Yeah.
was I supposed to do that? My bad.
Well, and I mean, think about this too. I mean, think about how many countries owe us money. Have they paid us back? How many countries have paid us back? And then again, how many countries do we owe money? How, are
We're
we
just in a
taking that
vicious
money
circle.
yeah, it's like
It's just a circle.
I have $10, right? I owe you $10. You owe Mike $10.
I owe him a lot more than that, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But
It's a circle.
yeah, and then you owe me $10.
Then you owe Mike $10. Yeah,
No,
it's,
yeah, it's a
circle.
$20 thing, and I only have $10. I
Yeah.
give him $10. He gives Mike $10. Mike owes me $10. Okay, I say here's the other half of my 10 that I owe you for that 20. You give it to
it
him.
goes right
he
back
goes
to
in-
you.
Yep, and
Yeah,
then
it's a
hey,
circle.
we're all broken even again.
Fuck yeah.
That's how the world works.
We are the money.
Yep. We're the ones who drive the workforce.
We're-
If we
we're
were
the
to
money.
change the currency ourselves by barter or whatever, basically getting out of the tax system somehow,
Yeah, as soon
it's
as
not
you're
avoiding
born,
tax as long as there's no.
as soon as you're born, you're given a number.
Yeah, and as long as.
So you're a payment. You're part of payment.
Well, yeah, and the way out of that is making yourself a trust.
Yeah.
You're basically creating a trust for yourself, which basically you sell yourself a trust, and your name becomes a part of the trust, which is outside of the federal government, which now you become your own entity versus the government entity. So now no longer are we a part of the so-called tax system where the Social Security number would apply.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we have the best interest rate out of any other countries almost. European,
Yeah, that's probably
British,
true. No,
and
that's probably
UK is pretty fucked up. I would definitely say that for sure.
And why are we not getting people off of hard drugs? Because that's a moneymaker for the government to keep people on drugs.
Yeah, if they can confiscate drugs
They're
from
bringing drugs from other countries in. The government's bringing the drugs in from out of the country, and they're putting it on the streets.
If
and,
Hunter can go to China,
Yeah.
take the drugs, bring it back
Yeah.
to the United States, they can arrest Hunter for the drugs, then sell it back on the streets. It's just a
Exactly.
rinse and repeat
Yep.
situation, right?
Ooh, we got
Absolutely.
100 messages today, folks.
So now the U.S. credit rating is lower for
Damn.
the first time in history. Yeah, but that's artificial. And the reason why I say that's artificial is because we keep pumping money. I think it's to give them time to answer and talk. Try to put all your thoughts in at one time so your whole point comes across instead of spread.
What?
So you seem all at one time.
What are you talking
You
about,
don't
Cadence?
make money if your population is fucked. Yeah, well, I mean that's. So Cadence is saying instead of just basically talking as if we're interrupting each other to make a huge long paragraph as to have all your points on the topic, so to speak, instead of. Oh, he says no, I'm high. Okay, well, never mind.
Well,
That's
I think
pretty hard.
part of it is too. There's a delay in between when we say something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and to
there-
give you
there
guys the
definitely
time
is.
to actually chat back.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a delay, probably about 30 seconds or so.
I think it's a little more than that because
Yeah.
I always had that issue when I was watching you guys.
That's
Yeah.
why we try not to jump subjects too much, because it allows everybody to get in their final thoughts before we
Or lack
before we
of.
move on. Yeah, or lack of thoughts.
And why I say it's artificial because if they're pumping out money and there's no end to the amount of money that they can keep pumping out, and we have nothing to support that, so to speak, like we already spent our oil reserves and now we're basing our currency off of what oil we can buy from someone else and sell in the United States, because I mean what else do we have to offer if we're buying everything out of the country anyway? Right before, our U.S. dollar used to be backed by the amount of gold we had, so we could only print as much gold as we had. So now we're pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping, right? But there's nothing coming back to the United States that would support the amount of inflation that we currently have.
Well, our dollar was primarily based off of oil.
Yeah, but we
and-
don't have that.
Well, yeah, we don't now.
What are you calling
So
it?
why are we still pumping $40 billion out to Ukraine if we don't have that money? It's not, well, in the next 50 years, we're going to have $40 billion worth of oil. So
It's all the gold at the
let's
bottom of
send
the
'em-
Grand Canyon.
let's send them more money, and then we're gonna go ahead and push this out for another 20 years, and then we're just gonna raise the tax rate so that we won't have to pay for that. That's exactly what happens.
We're just fucked. So we just live every day to the fullest, enjoy our lives.
Those burps are for
And-
Nate. He's not watching,
and,
but he
you
loves
know-
it when I burp in the microphone.
Oh yeah.
Just enjoy each other's company when we have the time.
Yeah,
And
technology's slow.
it.
Cadence. Technology is slow.
technology sucks.
Well, I think what Nate really likes is thick, chunky liquid while he swallows it.
Ooh. Does
Yeah,
it?
it's almost like like when you put coconut inside of Jello and then you swallow it, and you can feel like the little textures hit the back of your throat.
Oh, that's what he likes, huh?
He really likes that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I'm not sure what you're with me on, but okay. Maybe just saying, fuck everything. Just enjoy life as it comes.
Well, and it's
Pretty much what I do.
yeah, and it's unless people think the way that we do as far as how we're going to change things, how we're going to prepare for things. I mean, if more people just don't give a fuck, then nothing's going to change. But if we as Americans or we as people of the world, whatever, say we've had enough and we all stand up, there's nothing nobody can do about it
But see, the
besides a
problem-
nuclear bomb.
Well, the problem with that is look at what the schools are doing to kids, especially colleges now. They're brainwashing them and making them sheep.
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
I mean, we were
So
brainwashed.
that's why nobody is standing up. That's why everybody is asleep. Nobody cares anymore.
Well, shit, that happens in Lahaina. That's
Yeah.
moments where you stand up because
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is-
why the fuck are we not helping them? But we'll send all the money to Ukraine. The system's fucked, and eventually, we're way past due for a fucking civil war, and it's coming.
It's all
and,
about bribes,
Yeah.
favors,
Yeah.
and blackmail.
who
Well-
could suck each other off the best. Yeah.
yeah, and just to make this clear, I'm not
Yeah, I did
against
that.
Ukraine, right?
I love Ukraine.
I'm for the people
But I love Putin.
in the sense where we all have
That'll
a
get
country, and if the country is hurting, the country is going through horrible times, right? The people are suffering. We have people on drugs. We have people who can't afford their houses.
Yeah, I mean, look
all
at
the
all the
natural
shit we got
disasters.
going on here. But what the fuck? We're worried about
But
other
we're
places.
spending the money. We're sending the money to
other
countries
places, yeah.
instead of fixing
our
problems.
own shit. Yeah, we
And the
stick our
problems are just
noses.
getting worse, and we're still
Yeah.
paying for this.
Yeah, we stick our noses in other people's bullshit where it don't fucking belong instead of taking care of what the fuck we should be taking care of here.
And none of us.
I mean, why the
refuse-
fuck are our vets not being taken care of?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are they just pretty much pushed out of the way? You know?
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing too. Is I mean, why are we all still choosing to pay tax when the tax system hasn't worked for us? It's just putting us more
Oh,
in debt.
we gotta hold on. Hang on.
Hold on.
Hold
Mr.
on.
Fartosis has a thought.
Hold on, because
Russia is invading.
who's Russia invading?
He said Russia is our fucking enemy.
Russia is invading Ukraine.
Why?
So, but
why
why,
would
why,
Russia-
why is that our fucking problem?
Why is Russia invading? And why are we?
But why is that our fucking problem?
How is Russia our enemy? That's what I don't understand.
Russia's always been our enemy.
But why?
Well, because they hate us, just like we hate them.
So, but do they hate us, me and you?
No,
or do
they hate
the
our
administration?
government. They
Yeah,
hate our government, and that's the problem too. Is like, you see that you see these other countries saying fuck America," and it sucks because it's not the people of America, it's our government sticking their fucking noses in somewhere that it doesn't fucking belong. Like the whole fucking bullshit with Iraq and Iran and all that bullshit. How long have they been fighting each other?
years.
Thousands of years. Since the beginning of fucking time, they
probably
have
even
been
before
fighting
that.
each other. So why the fuck do we got to stick our fucking noses in the shit? And it's all because of oil.
But Fartosis has a thought, that's for sure.
Oh.
Let me on. I can't take it. He says.
Who is Partosis?
Chris,
Chris who? Do I know Chris?
you do.
I do.
I don't want to announce Chris's full name unless
Oh,
he
he's probably on-
wants
oh.
me to.
Probably
Oh.
on the group. But no.
Okay.
So my point
My bad.
is that most of the countries, the spite and hate for us,
What up, bro?
me and you, is because the administrations that we've had in the past that have done things or said things. And I understand that countries have done things in the past where we would want to be enemies with. But as you look at history doesn't show that it's 100% accurate because it's all for the victor, the person who won, right? And if the enemy is always winning, then the information is always going to be skewed in their favor.
Oh. Okay. All right. The most unpatriotic group of all time out here.
Who's unpatriotic?
Maybe yes. I don't know.
I
Not me.
mean, I'm
yeah,
pretty patriotic. I just don't like our government.
I don't know. I love the United States, and
Oh, yeah,
the reason why I brought
love
this
this
up in the
country.
first place is because we need to take care of the United States first. We
That's
wouldn't
right.
be in this predicament with Russia had we not focused on Ukraine in the first place. But that's kind of how shit rolls, I guess. Our fucking government does stuff, and we as the people have to sit by and fucking
And
trust
suffer.
our government and hope that they're making the right decisions instead of pissing people off like Putin or whatever, where they want to fucking nuke the United States for people who are making poor decisions.
Yeah,
Who's anti-America?
he is.
I'm pro-Russian. I hate all of institutions of America. Huh. Sounds like gaslighting to me.
Well,
So my kids are Ukrainian. My fiance is Ukrainian, but I love Russia.
I'm Mexican. So
My biggest half of my family is Ukrainian, and most of my family's Irish and American. So I don't know.
I'm Mexican, Native
You don't
American.
trust its
I'm a-
currency.
I'm a
You
Heinz
don't support
57.
its justice system. No,
Why? Why?
right.
Why would you? Why would you trust it?
I don't know, man. Don't trust the justice.
Hell no, no.
All right, we're
We're
in the
glitching.
Discord channel. Let's see if anybody pops on.
Discord. So that makes us anti-American because we don't trust those.
Huh.
Huh.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that goes far beyond what I was told to believe. Don't trust.
Hey,
all
Wet
60
Fartosis,
Fuck
check the
no.
chat. I just sent you an invite.
Fuck no, I don't.
Come on in.
Hey, Mike, do you trust the intelligence agencies?
No.
No.
Anti-American.
You fucking
No.
fuck.
You trust the Justice Department?
No.
Anti-American.
You're a fucking hater.
You're a Russian lover.
I'd support the justice system. Unfortunately, it's flawed as well as corrupt.
Yeah, I don't fucking trust anything that has to do with the current government that we have, regardless of who was president in the past, future, present.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
No, we're all
it's
fucked.
weaponized, and I'm not sure if you see that, but depending on whoever's in office, whatever, they can pretty much do whatever the fuck they want, and nobody has to answer to them. So
See this little
Yeah, say
box?
something.
See that? What is
What
this?
Fartosis? Say something. We'll see if you're in here.
What is this? 5%.
Yeah, turn up your
5%.
turn up your microphone or
60.
something.
Oh.
50 milligrams.
You're pretty
of
quiet.
Is what it means.
Oh.
Here, let me.
We have
I'll turn the music down.
Hi, Joy.
See if I can turn it up.
It's a pretty sweet system.
Yeah, I'll stick to my cigarettes. I like them better.
All right, hang on. I didn't have this queued up very well, so
Cue.
say something.
Who?
Oh, stream's dropping again, of course.
Cue.
Course, it's going red. We're red.
Queued it up. Queued it up.
What's old Boogie doing back there? Is she good?
Yeah. Yeah. Wet Fartosis, you're in here, so
It's still red.
say something.
Hello.
There you are. I heard you.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you all right. The stream's
All right.
bouncing.
Okay. I just want to let you guys know I come with this with full love and a lot of sarcasm when I say that you're not patriots. You guys are clearly some like the biggest patriots in the country, right?
America.
But what I'm trying to get at is that what I'm hearing from what you're saying, I'm not going to call them talking points. I mean, I believe that you believe these things because they're true. There's a lot of bad things about America, but there's also a lot of really good things about America that, like, from its fundamentals, are really important to put in the perspective of the world. Okay.
Sure.
And that comes from the Justice Department, as much as we can hate it when it's not convenient for us. Like, for instance, Hunter Biden. Unfortunately, the president's son does crack. And unfortunately, there's a lot of sons in the world that do crack. And I'm sure that there's some sons that I'm talking to right now who have done crack. Okay? And unfortunately, he made bad decisions with his father's name during that. From what I understand, unfortunately, Joe Biden didn't have anything to do with it. It just sounds like his son kind of used the fucking name of it. And okay, I shouldn't go that far with my thoughts on that. Anyways, unfortunately, that also means that Donald Trump did some pretty fucked up shit.
I think they're
Okay.
all crooked. They're all
Right,
fucking
but-
crooked.
But the thing is that I have the trust in the Justice Department of the United States more than any other country for a really fucking good reason. And that's because we're a democracy. And a lot of times, like, we know politics is run by money and things like that. But as far as any other country goes, we are the most direct from people to government that you can get. So much that it slows everything down as slow as fucking possible. But it's because it's deliberated on a lot of things. So, like, that does come with flaws, but it does not come with nearly the same amount of flaws that someone like Putin or Russia has brought to the world since basically the inception of the USSR, especially since they're the inception of the USSR. They're not even a fucking they're not even really communists. They're just capitalists at this point, but just run by an oligarchy, which is way, way more unstable and dangerous than the USD.
Oh, I don't
That's
disagree.
like-
Oh
Disagree.
yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that either. I don't
Right.
trust our government.
The
that's
problem
all.
is there's so much corruption
That's okay.
within the departments. I mean, the CIA
Is there-
has been
where
selling
is
drugs
it?
to America for God knows how long.
I mean, shit, especially since
I mean,
Vietnam.
so
Yeah.
unfortunately, some of our
Okay.
our biggest problems with the Justice Department and the three-letter, departments and intelligence agencies, is the fact is the corruption is so bad, and it's all, being done through our Congress. I mean, our Congress is allowing these things to happen, and unfortunately, it only hurts the citizen population. And I think that's our biggest problem with it is
Yeah,
is
it
that
doesn't
the
hurt
Department
them.
the Department of Justice would work fine if there wasn't the corruption. Same thing with the intelligence agencies. If we look at programs like Fast and Furious, basically any of the CIA programs,
Sure.
when we're looking at MK Ultra, things like that, which have definitely it just sows mistrust within
And-
the citizen population.
Can I add on to that and ask you a question off of that?
Please.
So I'm with you on all of that. Those are really degrading things for the name of any of those institutions, especially the CIA with MK Ultra. But I think that there's another layer to look at this, and this is going to be something that you're going to have trust in the U.S. for, and almost I wouldn't say a blind trust, but you'd have to have a patriotic trust in our institutions and who we are as a country to be making the right decisions. And the reason that I would say that I am more than most other countries, especially fucking Russia. Sorry, but that guy's kind of pissing me off right now. Not the person, but Putin is pissing me off.
I'm a
like,
smart ass when I'm talking about Putin, by the way.
The microphone here to you guys. Absolutely not. But is that our Congress, it's messy, it's fucking a clusterfuck, it's slow because we have people saying that, we shouldn't be funding Ukraine, and there's other people saying, well, probably should. Okay, those are big decisions to make, and there's a lot of people making those fucking choices. But that also leads to accountability, right? When you have one man choosing what's going to happen across the world, you're going to see a man who propped up a militia throughout the fucking entire world, including Africa and other Asian countries. And he's going to fucking take him out in a fucking plane with a bomb. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to take the next person that says a goddamn thing about what's different from what he's saying, going to throw him out a goddamn window. Okay? These are the talking points that you would tell me 4 years ago. Okay? Does they sound familiar? Because they are.
That's
'Cause
what's happening right now, right?
Right. From Russia. Isn't
And
that
the United
interesting, right?
States.
The United States is not doing these things.
Absolutely. And so I listened to what you had to say, and I'm not saying Putin's a good guy.
Let me
I'm
finish my point
questioning.
really quick.
I'm
Let me finish
questioning.
my point really quick, okay? Because that's not my point. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about that, but I want to make my point first. And I understand that makes me sound like I'm taking extra time. I shouldn't have said all that stuff before, but it's put into context of why do you think that those things are happening? Like, do you think war is what's better for the world, war or no world? You would say no war, right? How do you prevent war? Okay, you are a global leader of all of the other countries. You have a moral obligation as an American, okay? That's an inherent value of an American, is to prevent tragedies from happening from across soil to you. How do you prevent these things? You fund different we funded the Taliban. Why would we do that? Right? Well, it's fucking easy to say now how fucking a bad idea that was. But at the time, there's a pretty fucking good reason that we gave Afghans guns, wasn't there?
No.
Well, the Afghans
you're
bombed Russia,
referring
right?
you're referring to Operation Desert Storm, correct?
Yeah, I'm just listing off one of them off the back of my head, right? But you can see the intent. You can say like, oh, well, we fucked it up. Well, eventually that was the purpose. There could have been a million other things that we could have done to intervene that didn't lead to that situation, but we didn't take advantage of them.
Well, yeah, you're
right?
talking about hindsight in those situations.
I haven't seen one where it's like, unless it's like something from off of like fucking, like some CIA fucking off a deal of even the CLA who didn't know, right? Until they found the bagged actors who were fucking doing it, and then they fucking kicked them out, and it screwed up the whole institution for generations. But, sorry, I can stop my point now. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's intent from the U.S. for these things, and I haven't seen one that's like, oh fuck, it made sense at the time. Like, that sounds like a democratic choice that was made that was in the best interest of the United States. I don't really ever see that it's them doing something that's not best for the intentions of the United States.
Well, I think the problem is that we have a lot of that hindsight that happens, and at least the three of us that are in this podcast right now, are trying to look at, you know, history to make sure that we don't keep repeating those, you know, those talking points, because who knows how far back, you know, the corruption is within all three branches of government, whether it started in World War One, before that. You know, obviously it's easy to look at everything in hindsight, and where I'm coming from, at least, I'm looking at it and going, this doesn't make any sense to repeat again and again and again and again and again, because
it's getting us nowhere.
It's not necessarily panning out. And
Well, what about all the ones that did that you're not talking about?
And what up, bro? Good to hear the voice. Now I remember.
It's like you're pointing out all the mistakes. Yeah, we have mistakes, but like you're not counting literally
Take a
any of the
break.
successes.
Smoke
And the
cigarette.
thing is that you honestly won't ever know most of the successes.
Well, that's the problem. That's the point of what I was trying to get at is what happened to the point where America was at its top, right? Where everybody respected the United States, not because they just feared us, right? Obviously we have the strength, but now does our country look strong, right? I mean, another country
think
like China, our biggest enemy, is going to look at us, wow, they're supporting Ukraine, but yet, you know, a whole fucking continent just got set on fire and they're only giving them $70 or $700, but they're still giving Ukraine $400 billion. That kind of makes another country be like, wow, they don't even give a shit about their people.
No. The whole funding that is in our best interest. If there's any example in the entire fucking world currently, right now, about how important it is to support different allies in different regions of the fucking world, it's Ukraine and Russia. Clear, flat out, no better example. Because do you want to know what Russia's you know that Russia right now is invading Ukraine. You could talk about semantics all fucking day.
I've got
about how
family
it's
in Ukraine
not
right
invasion.
now, so yeah, I know
They're in
about
Ukraine, right? Yeah. Okay. So
Like I said, I'm not
Did you hear
talking about
about-
how good Putin is and how good Russia is. I'm
That's
talking
okay.
about why
we're
is
just
Putin
talking-
so bad,
Yeah.
and
yeah, I will tell
what
you why.
we could have
I will
done.
tell you why right now.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, okay.
You had this whole long
Okay.
point. Let me talk. So
Go for it.
we talked about how Putin is invading Ukraine and stuff like that. We could have prevented that.
Uh-huh.
We could have prevented that entire fucking thing. But now we're
By just
currently
giving it
sending
to 'em. Yeah,
F-16 Tomcats to
Yeah,
Ukraine
we should just let,
to fight a
we should
proxy
just
war.
give Russia whatever they want. Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't make sense to sit there and prop up Ukraine through the United
Yeah.
States because there's bigger allies that Russia has, like China. Well, we're selling our
We should just
surplus
give
of
them Ukraine,
ammunition,
right,
our
yeah.
tanks, and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
So by the
Yeah.
time we get done sending Ukraine whatever we have, then that leaves us vulnerable because we don't have as
Yeah.
much to be able to defend our own country.
You know what? I
That's-
totally
that's the
agree with
problem.
you. We should
That's-
take our
that's what I'm
biggest
talking about.
adversary with China. We should take our biggest adversary, that's the biggest aggressor in any major conflict, who keeps fucking with us for fucking decades. What we should do is we should let them take a fucking country that belongs to our allies and that does not want to become them. That's what we should do. Why? Because we didn't do something for Russia? Fuck Russia. What the fuck? Russia has been a piece of shit to everybody in the world since Putin put his dick on the table. And they want to come to us and say that, oh, we could have prevented it by sucking their dick. Putin can fuck off.
Well, no,
real.
see, there was a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia for over 30 years.
No, yeah. And why was it broken? Tell me.
Because the NATO allies kept pushing towards Russia, and
Because
Russia
NATO
said stop.
allies expanded because Russia sucks fucking ass and their fucking values weren't displayed in any other modern country for a fucking reason.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter in war. That's
It does matter.
nonsensical. No,
it matters
it's
in
not.
every concept in every single country that Russia takes over because we decided to say, fuck you, we don't give a fuck. And what did we do in World War II when we said, fuck, I don't give a fuck about France, fuck France. I don't give a fuck about
What
Poland.
about the land that
Fuck
belonged
Poland.
to Russia in the first place and that got given to Ukraine, right?
Why was it stolen from fucking Russia? Why was it stolen
Over
from
the
Russia?
peace agreement. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The whole
fucking
$35,
agreement.
35-year treaty or
The
whatever.
agreement that you're gonna fuck off over there and we're gonna have Ukraine over here. Do you agree? You know what they said? Yes. So right
do you want to
now,
have a
they're
conversation,
taking
or
that
do you want to
border
have
and
an
they're saying,
argument
"Fuck
back and
you! I
forth?
want all of this back." And you know what Putin said? He said he wants Poland next. Does that sound familiar to you at all?
Does it sound familiar that Poland asked the United States for nuclear weapons?
Yeah, I would be too. You want to know why? Why is Poland looking for nuclear weapons when Russia is telling him that they're gonna fucking invade them?
So
I would be buying nukes too.
Let me,
Would
let
you
me
ever
tell
be
you
bu-
something. Let me
Why
tell
would
you.
you not?
Hey, Mike, if you want to take over, go for it. Because
What's up, Nelly?
I'm not able to converse
Okay.
here.
I can convert myself. Okay.
So
I hear what you're saying.
All I'm saying, man, is I'm not saying Putin's a good guy or a bad guy here. I'm saying that there's no reason why we should be fucking putting fuel in a fire, right? We could have.
Okay.
You said the very first thing. If you were a world leader, what would you do? Right? I said, well, I would try and prevent a war, try to create peace between these two countries.
How do you
If
do
all
that?
they want is this one
Sorry,
little
go ahead.
territory, give them that territory. Fuck it. We can make something
You give
else
them your
work.
allies. You just say fuck NATO. I don't give a. Okay. Let me respond to that. Okay. I hear your question. Okay. I won't interrupt you. The reason is because we have a treaty called NATO. Okay. And I don't know if you believe it or not. If you're a fan of Donald Trump, you don't. And I'm not going to tell you why you don't all of a sudden, even though you did fucking 6 years ago. I'm not going to go there. But where I will go is the reason that it's important to support a country like Ukraine is because what happens when our adversaries and our enemies, think about China when you hear the word enemy, okay? I want you to put Russia in that fucking box too. Because if you're an American and a patriot, you've known this for a long fucking time. And no one should be changing your mind on that except for the Russian people. Okay? And
Hey, Zilly.
when that
Zelly.
enemy decides that he's going to take another country, you should be concerned about that, especially if it's your ally, especially if it's in a treaty that you have signed along with however many other countries to say, if you take one fucking missile into our country, then we're all coming for you. Do you want to know why we made that treaty? Because back in World War II, we fucking needed it to defend ourselves against a fucking aggressor that was going country by fucking country and picking them up and taking them as their own. I'm not saying Putin is a fucking Nazi, but the fucking pattern seems to be a little bit similar here. And it should be concerning to you. It should be concerning to everybody in the world. And it should be concerning when this kind of shit happens in fucking African countries too, but we just don't give a shit because they're not white. But anyways, and they're poor.
What's more concerning to me? Hold on. What's more concerning to me is that America's propping up
I gotta
another
go pee.
country, but not doing shit about their own country. That's the
We all
problem.
do
That's-
shit about our country.
No.
And in fact,
$700 to people who fucking lost their children and their
families.
family and their jobs and their lives.
Vets, you talk to your fucking congressman and tell them that you want to fucking do it. Because right now, the only people who are allocating funding for fucking vets, especially in the 9/11, when the fucking buildings collapsed and the fucking cancer payments are all of a sudden coming really hard, and we have to start paying for the first responders. You want to know what Republicans did? They fucked the whole thing off.
What did Rumsfeld say? What did Rumsfeld say on September 10th, 2001? We're missing $2 trillion. And then what happened the next day?
It's
Twin
a fucking
Towers.
conspiracy again. Okay, out of the conspiracy world, I'm back in the real
Out
world
of,
for a
out
little
of
bit.
conspiracy. Okay. So money goes missing, and then fucking what?
What does that have to do with
Where
this?
the gold
Who gives-
reserves were
right now,
hidden, the whole fucking building gets blown up.
That's fucking great. I don't give
You
a fuck about
brought up
9/11.
9/11 in
I
the
think
first
that's
place,
a
buddy. So
low
I'm just talking about your talking points here. I'm just trying to follow you
9/11,
along while you're
that's what we
talking
did.
about.
That's when we did that. 9/11, we fucking blew the federal Middle East to fucking shreds. We fucked it up so much that we killed so many civilians and people.
And we found out
You know
that
what?
Saudi
We
Arabia
rebuilt
did
them,
it.
and then
It's
we
fucking
rebuilt
crazy,
it.
isn't that? Oh my gosh. Wow. We went after
And Iraq,
Osama
yeah.
bin Laden, but
And
Saudi
Kuwait.
Arabia did it. How fucking crazy is that to take over another country when someone else did it? Good
Do you
old
think if
USA.
anybody at Russia, do you think that right now there's a Republican named Dick Cheney telling us a fucking lie to go into war?
Oh,
That's
saying
not
that we
fucking
have
happening right now.
have X amount of gold when we have
that's
nothing.
Not. Right now, we have Russia throwing his fucking dick all over Ukraine, and you're fucking putting your blinders up like, oh man, the U.S. is totally responsible for Putin's actions. Like, what the fuck?
We could have prevented all those
Should've been
actions.
fire.
We
should
could have
prevent them by
we could have
what?
It's a good
And you
episode.
got to think
today.
about this
Fucking
too,
country?
man. When Biden's have interest in Ukraine and they're spending billions and billions of tax dollar money
No,
over
That's
to
your
Ukraine,
own question. What do you do to prevent the war? Stay on one point. You can be as conspiracy as you want.
stay
but
on
we're
one
gonna prove
point.
the
You're the one dropping points. You won't even let me get a word in.
I'll
What are
be-
you talking about
I'll-
over here?
You said one thing, and I said, "How does that happen?"
Remember,
Okay?
remember that
You
good
said,
old
"You need to
15-minute
prevent wars."
conversation you had when I
I'll-
started talking? You said, "Hold on, let me make a point."
That's great. I will let you make your point. Here's the start of your point that I don't understand.
When can I make a point, buddy? When can I make a point?
Start with,
Never.
Yes, start with. You can always start with the first thing you said because I have a misunderstanding. You said the best thing to do is prevent war. Okay, and I said, "How do you prevent war?"
You make peace, buddy. You make an equal trade.
Brilliant. How do you make
Or-
peace?
or use
How do you make
money.
peace?
Everybody
You
just
make
needs to
an equal
smoke a joint.
trade, equal money.
You make equal money with Russia. That's how you solve the Ukraine crisis.
You make equal money value, or you talk about extending a peace treaty or changing the way that the laws work in everybody's favor so that everybody's happy. That's how fucking things get done. But since you know you like politics and all that kind of stuff and you want to wave your dick around everywhere, you know, that's kind of how things happen. You know, Russia's facing a war because that's what they did. They jumped the gun, they fired across the line, and now they're at war with Ukraine.
They
Now we're funding
They
Ukraine.
pulled out the gun. They
Huh?
pulled out the gun 4 years ago and fucking took over Kiev, or not Kiev, but the Donbass region, right?
No, that was over 30 years ago, buddy.
No, that was 4 years ago. That was during,
2014.
that was during Obama's term.
2014 is
And
when
that was a part of the whole peace
Yeah.
treaty that was
Crimean
signed.
Peninsula.
Yep, and that
Yeah.
already belonged to
You know,
Russia
in
from
fact,
the
you always
USSR
fucking did this
times.
and
They
we did
just split
nothing.
up the.
You want to know
the
what
different-
happened when we did nothing with Obama, who fucked us up even harder than fucking Trump did? Even
Bomb
Trump didn't have to do
little
anything. He just exist in place. Like literally, he was just a placeholder.
bombing kids,
Until, there's another Democrat. Time to fucking go in, so the American public turns on America again.
bombing kids.
Here we go.
talk about that?
Watch them do that.
Oh,
Now, check
stream's
them out. They're all
dropping.
fucking over America.
Stream's dropping. Hang on.
Yeah.
It dropped to 0. Give it a
Anyways,
second.
so long story short, man, is the biggest thing we could be doing as a country is trying to provide for
Stream's
our
coming
own
back.
people.
It's coming back.
Yes. Yes. And how do you do that when you're at war with Russia? I'm not saying we're at war with
Why
Russia
are we?
now.
Why are we even in a war?
Why are we
There's
standing
so
up for
many other
Ukraine right now
countries that
in
need
NATO?
help. Why specifically
Yeah.
Ukraine?
Yeah, I will tell you why. Because Ukraine's trying to get adopted into the NATO, right? Well, you can laugh all you want because
No,
all
I'm
of a sudden
laughing
we're
at
in
my
NATO
daughter's
is.
comment,
No,
man.
hold
I
on,
ain't laughing
I'll
at
finish my
you.
fucking point. You can laugh all you want about NATO. It would be the most unpatriotic thing for you to do.
Why is that?
It's so fucking. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
Do you give a? Okay, I will help you figure that one out, and I'll help you remember because you already know this. I don't know why you unlearn this.
It's a
Things that
podcast
I
have
where
a fucking
many
idea.
other people are watching, so maybe some other people aren't educated. So
Yeah, maybe
the
there's-
whole point
okay,
of a
here's what happened
podcast
in
is
World
so
War
that
II.
other people
Okay.
can learn just as much as we are instead of getting excited and using, fuck this, fuck that every other sentence, man. This
Okay,
this
well,
is a
that's okay, but when you go
conversation
against
where
the
we're
country,
supposed to
I gotta look
talk
this
back
up,
and
all right?
forth
I
and
love
make good
America.
Oh,
points.
stream dropped
I'm-
again.
Good job.
This is
All right.
annoying.
In World War II,
Hang on, stream's
We-
coming back. Hang on. Stream's coming back.
okay,
Give it a second. Everybody take a deep breath.
I'm not even excited in the least bit.
oh, I know you're not. I wouldn't be either if I was you.
I'm just having a
Goose
good time
for
being
Bob.
here. So,
Hang on a second. The stream. I gotta plug this computer in.
well, should have.
I guess it happens when
So
you get a
who's
conversation.
Zelly? Who's that?
Oh, I
that's one
remember
of-
exactly where we picked off, so I can wait as long as we need to.
All
I'm
right,
ready for
hang
that
on.
one.
Hang on.
Oh, that's one of my friends. That's Hazel.
Oh, okay.
It's trying to come back.
Cheers, Hazel.
I don't know why this does that. It's
So
annoying.
the biggest thing.
Hang on,
that
we're not
all-
we're not back yet. We're not back.
God. Someone else take the fucking mic. It'll be a fucking long shot.
I love you. By the way, I'm sorry. I'm not angry at you. I'm just like,
I get it. You're passionate, but
yeah,
usually
that's it, man.
debates and
Yeah.
stuff go back and forth. With breaks, and so people aren't talking over each other.
right,
I'm interested in hearing what you have to
Hey
say.
chat.
But
Hey chat. Are we
I
back?
am
Are we
sorry.
back?
if they're
Hey,
talking
we're
about
back.
you.
It's green.
Totally on
All
that.
right, we're back. We're back. All right. Start screaming at each other
Yeah.
again.
So, the reason why NATO is important is because after World War II, we defeated the Nazis, right? Fucking go America. This is America in its fucking prime, okay? It was one of the coolest things that we did after World War II is we thought of an idea to prevent this from ever happening again. Okay. We don't need another country deciding that they're going to start taking the rest of us over just because they're bigger, right? Like, because look at how devastating it was. Like, we need some kind of unifying pact between us and Britain and France and all of our other allies in the world, because they're really valuable to us, even if it doesn't show on like a number scale of it with a dollar amount how important they are to us. There's some that are incredibly important, like North Korea or South Korea is so fucking critical to our. Anyways, but we made a pact that
What's
says
up, Acid Saber?
if anybody in the fucking world comes to any of our friends, just so you know, all of us are coming for you. Okay, that's the most big dick fucking idea ever, right? Because that way, you know, if fucking China wants to go for Italy, all of a sudden, almost the entire world that has a fucking decent military, right, will come fucking use nukes on you almost.
NATO,
like,
yes, NATO has its place for sure, but you have to keep in mind that Ukraine is not a NATO country either.
failure. I do not want to live in that country. Sounds like a piece of shit. But anyway,
That's why you live in America.
yeah, exactly. I fucking love America as much as it sucks, because it sucks. But it's
Oh, yeah,
the best
Hey,
goddamn
that's,
country we have.
that's not patriotic of you to say.
No, it is.
just
It
fucking
is
with you,
because
man.
I'm willing to admit faults and still believe in the institutions that hold it up and make it the best country in the world.
I don't believe in
That-
I don't believe in a lot of things, but I believe in what America stands for. That's I mean, my patriotic belief of America goes a lot further than that. But here's the thing, though: if everybody was a NATO ally, would countries still go at war?
Yeah, they would.
Then what's the fucking
That's the
point of NATO?
question.
Then
And
there
the
comes
only person that allowed us to even consider the idea of that happening is fucking Vladimir Putin, and he did it,
Well-
and we responded because. And why do we do Ukraine? Because Ukraine has been trying to be a NATO ally, while Russia gets fucking stupid motherfuckers going in there and fucking up the government, making everything look fucking terrible. Like, oh, there's this and then there's this, and it's like, yeah, because it's got like, look at Belarus. Look what happened over there. Of course, that country's fucked, but this one. It wants to join NATO? Dude, fuck yeah. I want on the border of Russia right the fuck now. Okay? You bet your ass.
die anymore is what I want. You know what I mean? And I don't
Well,
want to be sitting there
unfortunately,
funding
Vladimir
other
Putin
fucking
decided that
people's
that's not an
wars.
option.
Yeah, well, I don't want to sit there and be funding other countries' wars when we can't even take care of our own is the biggest problem. That's
Here's my biggest
so
problem.
anti-patriotic that you can ever think about.
No,
Hey,
no,
man.
actually not. The
It
most
actually
unpatriotic-
is, man. When you're sending
Well, here's the
$40 billion to a country, but you can only spend $700 per family, I mean, that's worse than the fucking stimulus checks, dude.
Oh, praise
Oh,
your
we
goddamn
dropped again.
taxes, because right now we have a military budget that's already there. You can eliminate the military budget. Go for it, dude. I fucking dare you. Unfortunately, Republicans have been sticking up the military for fucking ever, and fucking. And anyways,
Didn't
But
the
reason that's
Pentagon
important-
lose
the
track
reason that it's
of what we
important to
have?
spend funding and to hold up Ukraine, I'm going to say one more time, is because if there's a country that looks at NATO, it wants to be NATO and has a choice to be Belarus or Russia, you take that country in because there's someone that's trying to devaluate NATO, okay, and say that it doesn't matter, and say that, you know what, if I do this, they're not going to do shit. Watch, 2014 happens.
Okay,
Okay?
so
Oh
let's,
yeah, well, they're not going to do shit. And here's what happens: you
Well,
fucking
love
be
y'all.
American. You
I'm
be
out.
American. Have a backbone, and you hold up
dude.
what you
Good to
said
see
that
you,
you
RJ.
would do.
Good to see
You
y'all
say,
too. Y'all take
I
care.
will. If you do this, then all of our countries are doing this. I'm letting you know now. If I turn my back and you do it, I'm letting you know you're in timeout. Well, guess what? It's
I'm
time for
burning
Vladimir
up in
Putin to go in timeout because he tested us again.
well,
Are you going to be a little
Go
pussy
Putin.
bitch and just bend over and let Putin take his throbbing cock and shove it in your ass? Or are you going to turn around and punch that motherfucker in the face and tell him to get the fuck away from you?
well, okay, so like I said, my earliest point was that what if every country becomes a NATO ally, including Putin? One day he wakes up and he says, you know what, let's give this a shot. I'm sorry, I'm going to pay for everything. I'm going to give Ukraine back what they lost. Obviously I can't repay the lives, whatever, but, I'll give them my big ass chunk of land as repayment and then X amount of
Stream just dropped out.
oil or whatever for the next 400 years. You know what I mean? Like
Sounds beautiful.
let's just say that's the case and they join NATO.
Yeah.
What
Yay.
happens if a country decides to fight against the other one?
Then they're out of NATO.
Okay, and then they create their own thing that's called Plato, and then NATO starts
it's called
pulling
Russia.
another country, and then
No, we
everybody
already
starts
have this. It's
joining
called
Plato
Russia.
instead of NATO, and then it's Plato against NATO, and then nobody's a part of
What?
NATO, and everybody
No,
destroys NATO.
it's called the USSR versus NATO, like it always has been since after like the World
Well,
War
I mean,
II.
we're talking about like a global
We're
scale,
living
like
that
all
right
these
now.
all
What are you
these
talking about
countries.
hypothetical? We're living in it right now. There is a hypothetical. It's called the Axis and Allies. Remember?
Yeah,
We used
I
to be
do
American.
remember.
Remember? Like we had the Axis and the Allies. We had the good guys and we had the bad guys. All right. The
Yeah.
bad guys were killing a bunch of Jews, which we hate again, which is really inconvenient. But
Well,
whatever.
yeah, but here's the biggest
Well,
thing,
yeah.
man, is that
Well, yeah, whatever. Anyways, go on.
We're not
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
stream
yeah.
right now. We're on the stream. Yeah, it's like, let's go, Chrissy, let's get him.
Hey, I got a cheerleader. What's up?
Fuck up, Conrad.
Well, you know, and the biggest thing too is that you got to realize when there's talking points and stuff, and you make points, you got to allow other people to speak, or it just sounds like there's one narrative, right? There's always multiple sides to a coin. So
Yeah,
even
oh,
though
that's
you might be a
freedom,
Democrat or
garbage.
Republican or whatever,
We're
you
trying
know,
to
everybody's
shut
supposed
you
to have an
down.
equal conversation.
We are having an equal conversation.
No, you talked over me for the most part, and then I didn't even get to make my original point from the first conversation you started. So
You
That's
can
a
make
good
your
point.
point.
That's
That
a
is a good
respect.